Take a deeper dive this morning into a growing health concern: plastics in our food. A recent investigation by Consumer Reports finding dangerous plastic chemicals leaching into your food, all linked to serious health threats, from birth defects and infertility to diabetes and cancer. They're called plasticizers, and they're used to make plastic more flexible and durable. Joining us now to explain more about these chemicals is Brian Ronholm, the Director of Food Policy for Consumer Reports. Thanks so much for being with us early on a Saturday morning, Brian. We understand the most common types of these chemicals, they're called phthalates. Give us a better understanding of what they are and how they end up in our food.
So what we did, Kirsten, is we checked a wide variety of foods that we all consume on a daily basis, and we wanted to find out just how much of this plasticizers that we consume on a daily basis. And unfortunately, the answer is quite a lot. And the highest concentration was in Annie's Organic Cheesy Ravioli, which had a reading of over 53,000, which is just astounding when you consider it's an organic product.
I think a lot of parents depend upon that organic label to mean that they're doing something healthier for their kids. But your study of nearly 100 foods found that these phthalates were across the board in everything. The cheesy ravioli, many parents feed their kids this organic product. How concerned should parents be about this?
They should be very concerned. There's no need to panic, certainly, but certainly they need to take steps to reduce their levels of exposure. And part of this is identifying the foods that have the lower readings, because the good news is what our test did show is that it is possible for these food products to have the lower readings. A lot of our foods that we tested below 1,000, and our lowest reading was 22. So it is possible, and it's important to seek out those particular products, but also take steps at home to reduce your exposure as well.
And I think you guys pointed out the products coming from General Mills that also had high levels to kind of give people an understanding of how broad the landscape is there.
That's
and
right.
Your company, Consumer Reports, calling on General Mills to knock the levels down, right? You wanted to alert them to this and to ask them to bring it down. What was their response in this case?
That's right. So what we're urging General Mills to do is to commit to taking action to reduce those levels. And they could do this by testing frequently throughout their production chain to identify, where the problems are and take those steps to reduce those levels. We did send them a letter this week, and we did ask for a response by the end of the month. So we look forward to that response, and we look forward to working with them to see what they could do to reduce those levels.
And so we're showing some of the other General Mills products, in addition to the ravioli, Cheerios, which is something that is just on repeat for so many families, especially when their kids are just starting to get the finger dexterity, but also Progresso soup. There was Green Giant corn, the canned peaches. Where are these? How are these plastics getting in exactly? They're not putting them in. They're not adding them in. So how does it get into the food?
That's right, Kirsten. So the way they get into the food is through packaging primarily, but it also happens from exposure to the plastics and tubing, conveyor belts, and gloves that are all used during the food processing. And then they can even go directly into the food through contaminated water and soil. So it's very pervasive and very difficult to avoid.
If it's so pervasive, what's the best way for us to avoid it as parents? Because I'm looking at stuff that I'm feeding my family on a regular basis. What's the best way to not have it come into our bodies in the first place?
So the things that we can all do to limit our exposure, because it's going to be difficult to avoid it completely, but we can avoid plastic food storage containers. Try to go with glass if you can. We need to limit our fast food intake, which we probably should do anyway, but our testing found that some of the highest levels are found in fast food. And we should limit high fat foods. Those tend to have higher levels of concentration. And we need to eat fresh, minimally processed foods. That can make a difference.
Shop the
and
edges
try not
of
to
the
use
grocery store. You
either.
want to get fresh meat. You want to get fresh vegetables. Let's quickly go over the dangers and the reason why this is so tough for families and exactly what it can cause. It can cause everything from infertility and birth defects to diabetes to even some linked to some cancers. And these are the things that we already know can happen, correct?
That's absolutely right. There's growing research shows that it can interfere with the regulation of estrogen and hormones, and even the minor disruptions can increase your risk of the health problems listed here. You know, the diabetes, heart disease, birth defects, and certain cancers. And the problem is that they develop slowly over time, sometimes over decades, and that makes it sort of more difficult to address the problem.
Brian Ronholm, Director of Food Policy for Consumer Reports, thanks for raising the alarm this morning and taking time to discuss the health threat with us. You can find out more on pixellemon.com, including a link to their petition to General Mills to remove these chemicals from their foods. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thanks, Kristen.